what are some of the trends that you see emerging that are exciting?
Well, we see four major trends evolving over the next 3 years in this space. One is, though my last panel wanted to dispute this one, consumer control. We think increasingly the consumer will have choice of what advertising they watch, when and where, and what advertising they don't watch. Secondly, we see increasingly the creation of advertising will become a more open marketplace. It'll not just be ad agencies, it'll be users, it'll be tribes of people, it'll be content creators embedding advertising in their content. So much broader creative community. We see third thing being new measures, and we're starting to see that now. You'll be able to measure involvement, interaction, activity, not just impressions, and we think that's how people are going to get paid, and we're starting to see that. And fourth, and not least, we think the ad networks are going to become important, going to take 20 to 30% over the next 3 years of the dollars in the marketplace for advertising. So we see those as the four trends that are really going to drive a major revolutionary shift in advertising.
Okay, so you guys are a truly global company and operating all around the globe. Is this trend in this country, or how pervasive is it globally, and how will this happen on a global basis?
Good question, and some parts of the world are ahead of others are behind. It really depends on the platform, depends on the technology, but you go places like Korea, like Hong Kong, like Singapore, in many cases they're leapfrogging our technology because they don't have the legacy technologies in place, and they can move faster in some of these areas. You go to Europe, interactive TV has been more established, 3G has been more established there, so we're not necessarily the leaders, but these are the trends we see happening on a global basis.
Okay, so online video consumption will be primarily through advertiser support, or what's the opportunity for the subscription model?
Good question. We think there's going to be a lot more fragmentation in models. You're going to have advertising supported. That's still going to be the largest as the way it's historically been. You're going to have pay-per-view of one form or another, and you're going to have a subscription model. We think the subscription model is still the untapped potential, and we think will increasingly grow. But when we went out and did some consumer research just a few months ago, the audience, about 80% of them still said they would rather, if you will, intake the advertising as a way of paying for their content. Now that shifts with age, it shifts with demographics, shifts with income levels. You look at the 45 plus audience, about 50% of them are willing to pay or subscribe rather than participate in the advertising at this point. So we'll see all the models, we'll see new models, we'll see the razor blade model, but really the question is how do you monetize, and we call it the revenue revolution. There's going to be lots of new ways to make money out of this business.
Just to follow up about the subscription business and online, we know about pay-per-view and watching the fights or a Broadway show maybe, or a movie debut. But in this world, what do you think people are going to be willing to pay, and how much, and what kind of content will be work on the subscription basis?
Well, I think different people will pay different amounts in different places. One size does not fit all in this world. And look at it today. An album in the music space is $9.99. A track is 99 cents. Yet we can get people to pay $3, $4, $5 for a 10-second ringtone that's a part of the 99-cent track. So a lot of it is about embedding it someplace. A lot of it is about what we're doing, what you can experience, and what you can do with that content. If you can make it such that I can do more things with it, then I'll pay more for it, and I think we're just going to begin to experiment with those pricing models. Sometimes it'll be through the device itself and it'll come with the content. Sometimes the device will be free and you'll pay for the subscription or a premium for the content.
So let me ask you this about your practice and what you guys do. Tell us a little bit about your group and the services you provide.
Sure. I'm in the strategy practice at IBM in business consulting. We're about 3,000 strategists, which makes us the second or third largest firm in strategy consulting, actually about 3,500 now globally. And we work with clients on issues of competitive positioning, strategy, long-term planning, and increasingly on their business models, because most clients today are understanding it's not as much about where you're headed, but it's about the model that's going to get you there. And that's where we think we can combine the technology insight with the market overview and the market and competitive understanding to really create innovation for our clients. Because innovation is not innovation. Innovation is really the combination of technology and business insight, and that's where we play.
What are your thoughts about the climate now? Well, we see, I've met a lot of entrepreneurs here, you have as well. It's very exciting. There's a lot going on in the Valley, a lot going on in innovation around the world. you think it's a bit of a bubble, or what do you think?
Well, I was going to ask that on my panel. Certainly it was in the late 90s. I think most technologies go through a wave where they first go through a bubble when they're introduced and then they become more real. But with what's happening now with market values and the pressure on the economy, I mean, you got to remember that 86% of new businesses fail and have historically failed. So some of them will be winners, and there's another Google out there, and people will invest to find it. But the majority of these ventures are not likely to be successful. So you have to be selective and realize that the dollars are not unlimited to fund them.